Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for July 16th. July 16th is the 197th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 198th in leap years, with 168 days remaining to the end of the year. We've got a little background on today's word, and that is that in the 1920s, researchers were studying a group of workers at the Hawthorne Works of the Western Electric Company in Cicero, Illinois. These researchers noticed that productivity increased regardless of how you changed the variables. For example, when they made the lights brighter, production improved. When the lighting was reduced, production was still improved. And so the researchers figured that this phenomenon was due to workers' perception that they were being given some attention, and that the realization of being singled out for a study caused them to perform better. And so today's word is Hawthorne effect. It's a noun, and it means an improvement in a worker's performance attributed to special attention received when singled out for a study. Hawthorne effect. If you have a word you'd like me to explore in the Word of the Day section, pop it in the comments, and if I can find a definition for it, we'll talk about it. And with that, King Richard II of England was crowned on July 16th in the year 1377. On July 16th in the year 1790, the District of Columbia was established as the capital of the United States. This is the birthday of American religious leader Mary Baker Eddy, born July 16th, 1821. We've mentioned her before in this day in history and other matters. She was the founder of the movement known as Christian Science and lived to the age of 89. July 16, 1858 is noted as the date of the last apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary to Bernadette Soubirous in Lourdes, France. Emperor Haile Selassie signed the first constitution of Ethiopia on July 16, 1931. The world's first parking meter was installed in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma on July 16, 1935. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus closed their last big tent show in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on July 16, 1956. Now, they weren't quite done doing circuses yet, but they were done doing them in tents. This was the last one held in tents. After that, the circus shows would be held in arenas. Before we go on with today's song, I'm going to give you a bonus word today, and that is power ballad. What is a power ballad? Well, we'll start with the definition of a ballad, and that is an emotional style of music that usually deals with romantic and intimate relationships, possibly also loneliness, death, war, drug abuse, politics, religion, usually presented in a poignant but solemn manner. Ballads are usually melodic enough to get the listener's attention. Power ballads are thought to have evolved in the early 1970s as rock stars sought to convey such profound ideas as mentioned. As the song progresses, it shifts into instrumental intensity with heavy drumming and maybe a distorted electric guitar solo representing the power of the power ballad. To emphasize the emotional aspect of a power ballad, crowds will hold up lighters with the flame turned all the way up, or nowadays maybe a smartphone bearing that GIF image. That said, today's song is Power Ballad, The Flame by Cheap Trick, number 1 on July 16, 1988. While Cheap Trick were putting together their Lap of Luxury album, the vice president of Epic Records came to them and gave them their choice of a couple of songs, saying, "These songs, they're going to be number 1. Cheap Trick chose The Flame. The other song, in case you're curious, was Look Away, which went to the group Chicago. And yes, that one did hit number 1 as well later in the year. Cheap Trick weren't wild about The Flame at first, but it grew on them, and they did a good job with it. As the record executive predicted, The Flame did hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in July of 1988 and held that position for 2 weeks, which is where we find it on July 16, 1988. While Cheap Trick also had other songs that charted, this was the only one that ever hit number 1 for them. The Flame by Cheap Trick. link in the description. Now, before we roll into the outro, I want to let you know that I've created a new channel called Vicki's Artful Adventures on YouTube. I'll be posting creative projects, drawing, painting, coloring, polymer clay, resin projects, and whatever else I might be doing in an artistic, creative vein. I'll show you what I'm working on or what I have done in the past, and we'll go from there. I've got miles of video, some that's already been edited, and maybe I couldn't decide where to post it. Some of it that's on this channel but needs to go somewhere else. And while I thought that some of my Day in History viewers might enjoy that sort of content, I think you landed here for this day in history, and I don't want to get things all mixed up. So I'll include a link, and you can check it out if you like. Let me know what you think. For my viewers on BitChute, let me know if you'd like me to add those videos to this channel. Alrighty, on with the outro. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that is called No Really. And you can also find me on Rumble and BitChute. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Microphone over there. Hello. Okay. With 202 days remaining to the end of the world. End of the year. Please, not the end of the world. 202 days remaining to the end of the year. Let's read that one again. Yep, it is. That's what it's called. All right. Third time better be a charm. There's no "the" there. One more time. Attracting. Just read the whole thing over. Are you making some sound? Get on out of here. Yeah, we're going to edit that out. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty. Back to work. I think we got it this time.